Hi everyone, welcome back. I hope everyone's doing well. I am doing a reading for Friday, October 17th, 2025. And as I shuffle my cards, I am getting an idea of just how everyone's going to be doing on Friday, lovely Friday. And if this doesn't resonate with you, then please move on. Apologies for the throat clearing. I have a little bit of a tickle and a frog, so one sec. I'm back. Okay, so yeah, the tickle in my throat is new, but anyway, I hope it doesn't turn out to be anything too serious. I'm excited because I have plans to go to Salem, and I have never been there before, and I just, oh my god, like, what? Like, I've never been. I'm so excited. And I'm originally from Massachusetts, so it's just like, yeah, I'm so excited. My sister is bringing me, and so kind of like a belated birthday present, but it's kind of nice because we've been planning something like this forever, and I'll be going to her house later tonight, the 16th, but yeah, anyway. Salem. I am so excited. So a card fell out. For those of you that are new or don't know, I like to pull 2 cards to get an idea of how my reading is going to go. And so then I start. Okay, so we have the 7 of Wands and the 5 of Wands. There's definitely some kind of like mental blocks that we're facing right now that are preventing us from really moving forward with what we want to do, which is kind of interesting because it's like the exact opposite of the reading that I just did for today, October 16th, and it just goes to show how everyone is different, and like we all kind of go back and forth, you know, like just kind of flip-flop, but hopefully this pans out. I hope it does, but we will see. Tarot is a tricky and fickle being. So we'll see how this goes. Oh, okay. Apologies again for the throat clearing. We have a choice to make. We have the 2 of Cups, and I know this is really, a lot of people read it as like a potential relationship. It could be, but in this instance, it's more about a contract with yourself and really living in accordance with what you believe. And so something in some way is blocking you from really believing in yourself and really kind of allowing yourself to focus on what you really want. It could be like an internal struggle, an external struggle, like any kind of struggle, really. I'm going to pull a clarifier card. Yeah, okay. So we have the Empress, and at first I wasn't really sure how to read this because, you know, once you move forward, like remove these blocks, the 7 and 5 of Wands, and really kind of live with your values at heart, then you really start to give the impression or the sense of the Empress energy. So the Empress really, like, she's very loving, nurturing, very motherly. And I mean, she's ruled by, I believe, Venus. So just like this sort of loving, motherly figure. And it could be a person in your life. It could be, I mean, your own mother. It could also be like a soul mother. And I really think that the next card really clarifies the position of the Empress, because we have the Page of Swords. This is really just about like moving forward, really creating something new for yourself that maybe you didn't think was possible. And because you've been blocked for so long, and allowing yourself to really remove those blocks has allowed you to take on this sort of Empress energy. And again, tarot has no gender. The Empress could be male, female, non-binary. Take what resonates. And so the Page of Swords also is like a messenger of some sort. So I always see the pages as messengers, and I say this all the time in my readings. So I really think, like, with this page, this energy, this Page of Swords energy is just very, like, active in the sense of going to get what they want. Like, they've thought about all these options that they have, and they've finally decided to make a choice. Like with this Two of Cups, one of the two cups is a choice. So really allowing yourself to move forward. Excuse me. Ooh. We have the World card. And I like the World because it's kind of like a nice ending. It's not like a jolting or sudden ending. It's kind of a very nice, calm, peaceful way of concluding something on good terms. So leaving things behind and coming to terms with how you have done things in the past, as well as how to move forward. So being able to really kind of allow yourself that grace. Give yourself a break, right? Like, it's so hard to hear. And I know, like, I do that all the time, where I have the hardest time allowing myself that freedom and that grace to really kind of accept that sometimes that's how I am, and that's okay, because everyone is different. We have the Moon, and with the Moon, it's really just about finding that sort of inward sense, maybe kind of going into the unconscious, the subconscious, really just exploring that, maybe through like hypnotherapy, or allowing yourself to really kind of explore those parts of yourself that aren't visible. And so also ending something allows for the unknown to take place. So you don't know what the outcome will be if you make some kind of decision or choice or whatever. And I think allowing yourself to embrace that is important with this reading. And I mean, eventually you'll come to realize that you have created something for yourself. We have the Seven of Pentacles. You have done work. You've done the appropriate work. You've done the necessary, needed work, the internal work that shows externally. So you've created something for yourself that your future generations can potentially follow in your footsteps. And really kind of looking at what you've made and appreciating it, because it's something that you took maybe that took forever for you to really kind of work towards, and to create something new and lasting, a lasting impact. We have a lot of majors. So we have the Wheel of Fortune. And with this Wheel of Fortune, you really started to like break that wheel. You've really kind of, instead of like going along this wheel, you just exploded it, broken it. You're doing your own thing. You're not waiting for anyone or anything. You're really starting to move forward with your life. And even though it may be kind of rocky at times, it'll work out. Things will happen. You may feel like you're unprepared, but you deal with it in your own way. It may not be how you expected, but you were successful in dealing with it. And for future reference, now you know. And I know it sounds really kind of generic, but just like, yeah. So you've broken the wheel. You've broken that cycle and allowed yourself to really kind of do things in your own way, on your own time. And you're really standing up for yourself. We have the Queen of Swords. Standing up for yourself is really kind of the most important thing you can do right now. Because if you allow others to tell you how to do something or what to do, then you're not living in accordance with your beliefs, your value system, and how things will eventually pan out for you in your future. So I really think like the Queen of Swords here is just like, she doesn't like take any BS from anyone. She's very like, she stands up for what she believes in, and she knows it's the right thing, because, you know, she's always right. So, and again, with tarot, even though, you know, the Queen of Swords is a queen, and I see queen as typically female, it could be any kind of energy, male, female, non-binary. So, if I read it and it doesn't resonate, just know that I am reading it from the perspective of the card, but it could be any gender, any non-gender. So I like to always point that out. So, and the Queen of Swords is fierce. Like, if you look at this picture, she has like a lion's mane on her head. She's fierce. She really does what she thinks is right. And she is always right. So, don't get in her way. So you're really starting to look into living in accordance with how you approach things, how you think about things, your values, just everything that you do is really allowing for that new way of thinking. You've given up your responsibility of following, or the sort of false sense of responsibility of falling for other people's traps. So you have the Ten of Wands, or we have the Ten of Wands. So with the Ten of Wands, it's really about, like, you know, you've given up on doing what other people want. You're finally following what you want, and that is the best thing for you, because it's allowing you to really kind of move forward, kind of finish the cycle of self-sabotage, of feeling stuck, because now you're no longer stuck. You're not doing what other people want, you're doing what you want. So in a way, I meant, like, your responsibility to yourself is more important right now than to others. Well, your responsibility to others is also important in terms of how you act in society as a whole. Internally, for you, doing what's best is the main thing. And you've embarked on a new identity, kind of. Like, you've really created something for yourself. We have the Fool. And so you're not acting foolish, you're not acting impulsive, you're not doing all those things that people are telling you you're doing, because you've just given that up. You're allowing yourself to really kind of take that leap of faith, to really kind of throw yourself off the cliff into something unknown. Of course, as used as a metaphor. So you're really kind of allowing yourself that freedom to take flight. And I mean, that's the best thing someone can do, because then they are true to themselves. They're allowing themselves that sort of, they're relinquishing their feelings of, you know, feeling tied down to someone else, because that's how other people are. They want you to feel kind of like, you know, you are doing the wrong thing, but it's not. You're doing the right thing for yourself. Okay. We have the Sun. I was thinking of the story Icarus, the Greek myth of Icarus, and how he flew too close to the sun with his wax wings and melted. But, like, you're not Icarus. You're throwing yourself off the cliff with this Fool card, but you're going into something much brighter with the Sun. You're like the good ending of the myth of Icarus. So really, you're allowing yourself to see that light, to really allow yourself that freedom of choice, that freedom of movement, this sort of happiness, and just maybe it's shedding light on how others may have manipulated you and used you in the past, but you're no longer bound to them anymore. You're done. So just a lot of good endings and new beginnings here. And this is kind of a common theme. Like, things have started to really look up for you. Exactly. So we have the Six of Pentacles. And with the Six of Pentacles, this is really nice, because it's like you're really kind of seeing this light at the end of the tunnel. You're really going into something that is bigger than yourself. You're allowing yourself to really kind of trust the process and to trust yourself too. So you're really kind of moving towards that light. And I guess what I'll do now, excuse me, is pull one more card, then do a top and bottom read, and then do an oracle read. Just a short one. I'll try. I know I tend to go longer than half an hour in these, but it's because I get so into it. I'll pull a clarifier. Actually, maybe not. I got it. We have the Two of Swords. And generally, I know the Two of Swords isn't like what I'm interpreting it as right now, but what I'm seeing is that this white sort of cloth around the swords is like a flag of surrender. Like a sense of surrender to the universe, a sense of surrender to yourself, and allowing yourself to really kind of move through your life in a way that suits you the best. Because you're surrendering yourself to the unknown. You're going in like blindfold on. You don't care what anyone else thinks anymore. You're allowing for, you know, others not to use you or sway your opinion about something as much. So you can certainly hear other people's opinions, but not necessarily choose those opinions or choose what other people want you to do. The Ten of Pentacles was on the top, and the Magician was on the bottom. You're really kind of allowing yourself that you can, like, you know, you really have started to manifest what your dreams are, what your ideals are, your values, everything. And allowing for that has created the sense of, like, living in accordance with what you believe in. This ability to really kind of allow yourself to not be taken advantage of, and to allow yourself that freedom of choice, that freedom from burden, of feeling unworthy, of feeling like other people are telling you what to do and how to live your life, because one size does not fit all. What happened for someone else does not necessarily work for everyone. So, let me read a couple oracle cards, and then I think I'll finish up. So again, I'm using my Woodland Wardens deck, so we'll see how that goes. So, I love this deck. I always say that. I know I do. So I'll try not to take up too much more time, but we'll see how that goes, because, you know, I get into it. Ooh. You're creating a sense of upheaval for yourself, and it's kind of like a good upheaval. We have the Vulture and Asphodel, and, you know, down here it says upheaval. So it's a sense of really kind of creating something bigger than what you've maybe believed about yourself in the past. And it's kind of like, this is kind of like the Tower card of this deck. So you're crumbling your foundations to build something new. You're creating something to be better. The Boar and Pumpkin. I like this card. I always say that. That's about confidence. You know, you need this confidence boost to really kind of allow yourself this freedom of movement, to allow yourself to really kind of move forward with your life, and allowing yourself to really be free. And I mean, it does require confidence, but I think a sense of like internal quiet strength. And I like that sort of quiet strength, because it's just like you have this sense of, I don't know, people will perceive you as being something, and it's kind of nice that, you know, you have this sort of ability to observe situations and make an informed decision about something. and you're inspired to create something new for yourself. We have the salamander and black pepper. This inspiration is something that has been brewing for a long time. And finally, you've removed those blocks. You've removed everything. You've kind of given up on, like, taking the advice of others because it's not what you believe in. It's really just what you truly want, what's in accordance with your own value system. And I know I keep saying that, but it's true. And this sort of freedom of letting go of what others think is allowing you creative ingenuity, and that's the spider and passion fruit, or passion flower. And you're finally allowing yourself. This sort of oppression from other people has really tamped down your ability to be creative, to be inspired, to have this confidence, and you're just breaking everything down and building up again. Allowing that is super, like, I would think it's healthy for you, but it just seems like, you know, you're doing this thing that you've wanted to do for a long time, and maybe you haven't exactly had the chance because no one allowed you to have that chance. I'll pull maybe one more card and then stop there. But this next card, we have the Bobcat and Blackthorn, and that's about patience. So something so sudden, it does require patience, because something can happen that seems very sudden, and then eventually it kind of stagnates a little bit. But having patience is probably one of the better virtues of, like, you know, allowing that sense of self to really kind of develop. And my last card, I'll pull the Cayman and Poppy. And that's about dreams. You're fulfilling your dreams. You've always wanted to do something. You're finally going to get it. And that's all that matters, right? Like, you're creating something better for yourself. So allowing for that is probably one of the most important things you can do at this point, because it's like, you know, something you've been putting off. You've wanted to, I don't know, quit that job or travel somewhere or buy a house, and you just never really had the opportunity, and now is the chance. So, just saying, now is the time. You can do anything. Anyway, that is all I have for you. So have a good day, everyone. Bye.